Crazy here.
The whole back half of this, we're gonna turn into a barbecue pit. We might have to put some hydraulics on this.
It's 86 C10. We've been building this truck on and off for the last 3 years.
We're probably gonna finish this thing out.
This is a rolling family heirloom. And on something like this, you're not just putting the puzzle together, you're creating the puzzle.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
I'm here at Republic Services, which is a waste and recycling company that has a huge presence here in Houston. Bay 15, this is it. This thing is cool. Fellas, good morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good to see you, bud.
Good morning, man. It's a good-looking truck.
It's 1940 International. Man, it's original.
Under 10,000 miles.
Man, it's super clean.
To find this thing.
So this was water.
It's a water tank, not a fuel tank, water
Old
tank.
water truck.
Man, I love the styling of this thing, man. It's perfect.
This truck is almost 80 years old, but it's still looking good. The International Harvester has a great reputation for being super durable.
So does this thing run?
Well, I wouldn't say it'd run today.
It has an
I think you can make it
does.
run.
Oh, man. Whole flathead. At least everything's there. So what are you guys going to be doing with this thing?
The guys have been thinking about turning it into a barbecue grill, basically. Actually, we're getting started on it, and then the hurricane hit.
As Harvey happened, they got pulled away, and they had to go take care of our customers. Not only that, they took care of the community, and this is going to be a huge thing to help and take their minds off of everything they've been through. We want to have this thing so there's a grill on here, you got a prep area, and then you got to do your magic thing, man. You got to get that twist on it.
We're just going to create you something totally, totally special. I would stick with the wheels and tires that are on there, and just the total stance and everything is perfect. And just focus on the pit itself. Not just making a hinging door. Let's actuate it. Movable parts everywhere.
I like it.
A nice serving platform, storage underneath, maybe even actuate in the back.
Ultimate tailgate.
I like that.
Starting out with a project this clean and well taken care of, that allows you to put more effort in it. Well, man, let's get this thing loaded up. We got the record. We'll get going on it.
Let's do it.
I'm sure these guys that worked on this old truck on the assembly line would definitely be proud to know that their work's still being appreciated and still going. I mean, they built a hell of a truck back then. Man, it's always cool to find old paperwork in cars, especially old cars. It looks like this thing was in, a couple parades even far back as like 1992. This thing has such a long history. It's just cool to be a part of it, to just take what people have done in front of you and take it a step farther. We're gonna do what we can to make this thing look as good as it can, bring it back to life one more time.
Reading a book, you're doing homework.
And just checking out the history of this thing. I mean, the thing was built in the 40s, been around. And it still looks really, really good. Somebody's been taking care of it.
So what are we doing with this?
We don't do restorations, but in this case, the front half, you can say restore it. We're gonna make it look good again. As far as like the inside, same thing. We don't wanna get too crazy. We want people to be able to look at the way it was back in the 40s. Back half of this, we're gonna turn into a barbecue pit.
Damn.
So what I want to do is cut this thing out and then actuate it up. Cut all the way down the side of this and just splice the whole back
Oh,
off.
this is a big old tank. Did you guys check out the inside already, or?
Check it out. Ugh.
I've got Rudy, Jamie, and Tim tearing down the water truck. Starting out with separating the tank from the cab.
Good, we're off, huh? Let's roll it.
Seeing this truck is just proof they don't make them like they used to. We have trucks half this old come through here that aren't in this good a shape.
Got a flatbed.
We'll just cut that box off the top, smooth that out, and then we'll have a fresh start of canvas where we can draw the lines and get everything lined up where we want to go.
That's it.
Now for the hard part is laying all this out to make sure everything's gonna flow and work right. Let's start with the back. Man, this thing would just be real cool to have a beer tub right here. So we'll cut this thing all the way down, hinge it on the very bottom of the frame, and actuate it so have a big beer tub right here.
Yeah.
The thing's gonna be for the hot side. The other side will be the cold side, have it actuate down, have ice underneath a couple trays to keep all the condiments and everything cold.
Cafeteria style?
Exactly. Your creative side can really shine on a project like this. You're not just changing a color, you're not just changing a body shape. You get to just totally create something that's not even there. Just keeps you on your toes. You gotta start cutting.
Chop it up. Everything on this tank is made out of real thick 3/16 steel, so just torching it is gonna be a real big job. When I'm plasma cutting a long straight edge up against my guide, I like to wipe it down a little bit with some soapstone to help the plasma glide a little bit smoother so we get an even nicer, straighter line. Little trick I learned at the pool hall.
Ain't coming out, man.
I don't know what the deal is. It was cracking and popping like it was all loose.
Yeah, I know.
I know we cut it all the way around.
It's stuck on there. There's probably a baffle in here. Look right here, you can see the seam. Right there. That's probably welded on the inside.
Man. Our panel's fully cut out, but as you can see, it's still in place. There's a baffle that runs right inside the tank that's holding this panel. I went ahead and put a baffle in there, keep the water from switching around back and forth, make it a little bit easier to keep it steady as the truck's driving down the street. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to cut out this section, and we're gonna reach in and cut the baffle out from the inside. Dude, that's a huge baffle in there. I didn't think it was gonna be that big.
But there's two of them on there.
Oh, man. I guess we're gonna have to cut that one out, too.
Nothing's ever easy here.
All right.
That thing's looking good. We really got to be strategic on how we put the ribs back in here.
Ribs?
Man, not them ribs. The metal ribs, the structure to hold this thing all in place.
We need a smooth surface to work from, so we got to patch up these holes.
Where do you want the first pass, on the end?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to line things up. It's a simple little, my dad would call it a plate dog. I don't know what you would call this. That with little wedge makes it go right into place every time. Super easy.
Right there.
We got the contour right, and now we can cut the whole back of this thing off, and we'll have us a nice little beer cooler. Let it go.
All right. That was heavy. Almost broke a sweat there.
I don't think the actuators are gonna pick this thing up. We might have to put some hydraulics on this.
When it comes to starting an old ancient engine like this flathead, there's no one better than Mike.
Oh, Lord, I couldn't begin to tell you how many engines I've worked on in my life. I started when I was 12 years old. Let's see what this old bad boy looks like here. Here I am, 61, and still doing it. This truck is a 1946 cylinder flathead. We're gonna get some gas to the carburetor and ignition to it and see if we can get this thing fired up. You gotta have three things. You gotta have power, you gotta have fuel, and you gotta have compression to make an old engine run.
You know, I've known Mike since I was a kid. He knows every trick in the book,
We're gonna have to end up hot wiring this thing because there's no key.
even some that aren't in the book.
The speaker wire is gonna work as a temporary run from the battery. Good thing the engine's turning, not locked up. Well, we got a problem. The distributor gear is supposed to turn with the engine, and she's not turning. So that tells me the gear on the distributor is stripped out of the pin sheared. Lord Jesus, I don't know where we'll find a gear for this thing. Get the distributor out of it. This is a standard type rotor that the old 6-cylinder and V8s had. The shaft's not broken. We may be able to get it going. Boy, let's see if that oil pump shaft is seized up. It's turning. Well, obviously, someone pulled the distributor and not lined it back up into the oil pump shaft. So we're gonna have to pull number one spark plug, get number one piston up to top dead center. and that lines up the harmonic balancer with 0 on the timing cover, and that'll allow you to stab the distributor in the proper position. The rotor's locked in. We got the distributor put back in, and we got spark to the points. So we're gonna put some gas in it and see if she'll fire up.
The engine in this old water truck probably hadn't ran in about 30 years. That old flathead's met its match with the old Mike.
Okay, we're gonna dump some fuel in her, see if we can get anything to spark. Starting to get some spark. Valve causing it to backfire. Valves, they stick in the block on these old flatheads. Carburetor's got a lot of black tar in it from the old gas. We may have to run some transmission fluid through the carburetor to try to get it to free the valve up. Pouring transmission fluid through the carburetor will soften the carbon deposit. They rust. You can't do that on the newer vehicles because it'll stop the catalytic converter up. Spin it over and see if we can get the valve to free itself up. We got this old 231 running. There's 78 horsepower in this thing. Ought to push it down the road with no problem.
This morning I'm going out to see Eric. He's got a really cool square body we've been working on for the last few years. And now he's ready to get the final stage put in and we can get this thing finished up for him. Hey man, good morning.
Hey, how's it going, man? It's a hot day today, huh?
Yeah.
This is it?
For sure. You ready to get back at it?
Yeah, man, we're ready.
I'm ready to get started too, man. We have a chassis, full air suspension. Every piece of the bed has all been handmade already. We're close.
Yep.
Some projects have big budgets. Some projects have smaller budgets with big dreams. So one way to accomplish that is just build in stages. What do you think about this thing so far?
Man, this is sweet.
Little 6.2 with the twin turbos on it.
Yeah,
this
man.
thing's gonna be making a ton of power.
I can't sleep at night just thinking about driving it down the street.
Yep. The most unique thing about this whole thing is just it being a Mexico truck. The C10s in Mexico are actually a little different from the ones made here in the U.S. The easiest way to tell is the back of the bed is just completely flat. I mean, you don't see these ever. It was your grandpa's, right?
Yeah, it was his, man. He bought it brand new in Mexico, and they brought it back over here. And this is a truck that my dad and my uncles learned how to drive in.
I totally understand that. This is a rolling family heirloom.
Yep. My grandfather used to raise cattle, so he raised enough money to buy this truck back in 1985. It had been sitting in the garage in Mexico years. No one touched it, no one moved it. We finally decided to bring it to Houston and have Bill work on the truck and, you know, just kind of take it to where it's at now.
A few little things finish up. I mean, as far as brake system, hoses, panels here and there. The main thing is interior.
You got a clean slate.
This is the perfect project. We'll build a totally custom one-off dash, you know, console, custom seats, just something just totally unique. You know, something you'll be able to have a lot of pride in, extensive have pride in it, and just it means something to all of us.
That sounds good, man. My grandfather, you know, he's not here with us anymore. But if he was, I think he'd be blown away by the way the truck is right now. And I'm excited to see where it's going to end up at.
And the only thing left is just putting, you know, the wood in. Red on the motor, we could tie some red in the interior. Maybe we could even stain the wood a red stain, kind of tie everything in together.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll make you proud, and your
All right,
grandpa.
man. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's get this thing loaded up, man. We'll get it going.
Let's do it.
You know, there's a ton of work done. This might look like the easy stage, the easy part, but man, it's the most difficult. This is what everyone is gonna see. Want to make them proud. You know, it's pretty cool to get this thing finally back in the shop. On a project like this that comes in stages, kind of gives you a little break, gives you a little breather to really sit back and become more creative and really think about the next step in the project. This is the last time, the final touches on this thing, get it running, finished up, give it back to generations.
What's up, man? What's going on, boss man?
Where y'all been?
Tacos.
Got to keep my girlish figure going.
You ready to get some work done?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I'm ready for you to get some work done, too.
So is this thing here for the last time? We're finally going to finish this thing out?
This is the last time.
Sweet.
I want to create everything one-off inside. You know, something free-flowing down into a custom console in between 2 bucket seats and back into the speaker box behind.
Okay.
I want something totally custom.
I'm down.
The motor's a satin red. We've done a ton of red interiors, but I want a little twist on this one and bring this satin red on the inside also, which is going to be kind of tricky not to make it burgundy or maroon.
Like every other Chevy truck from the late 80s, huh?
We don't want that.
A little bit of a task, but I think we can handle it.
Yeah, we can find something. Once you're all done with the interior, I want the satin red to flow all the way to the wood in the bed. Eric's grandpa bought this brand new in 1985. He's no longer with us, so I want to incorporate something inside the interior somewhere in this build that pays tribute to him.
So, like something special, like an airbrush mural of his face on there somewhere?
No.
Oh. He always shoots down my first ideas.
That's why you got to get the worst one out
That's
first.
why I throw him out.
I'll keep him steered in the right direction.
Yeah, please. I'm getting to work.
What's up, Heath?
I think I got an idea of what we're gonna do. Give an idea of the dash, you know, little insert, wrap it around, and then we'll do the cool, thin, floating console down in here.
Well, I got the pieces for the top and the bottom. We'll get the arches in there, see what's up with the plan, and see if the plan sticks.
It's been a few years of on again, off again customization on this 86 C10. Heath and John are doing their part to get this thing over the finish line. They're doing a one-of-one dash completely from scratch.
All right, man, I brought you some ribs.
Good, I'm hungry. Man. I was hoping it was some baby backs.
So what we're making here is part of the front of the dash. It's gonna have the front curve to it, so this is gonna give us our shape that's gonna scoop back around to the front edge. That'll let us tie in our insert piece that's gonna wrap into the door.
Because we're taking this chipboard and we're making it where it fits all in the side here, just to give us a shape so we can lay fiberglass over the top of it. See how we got a low spot, right? We can take it and bend it to give us our curve all the way across, which is some people use fleece. If you use fleece, it's gonna sink every spot all the way through. And then you gotta use a whole lot more filler to get it straight. I don't know if this is how other people do it, but this is how we do it.
If this isn't how everybody does it, this is the way they need to be doing it, because it's the way to do it.
I like your attitude.
Just remember, don't eat the glue. Now it's time to get the fiberglass in. All right, we've got all of our pieces cut out. We're gonna start wetting these out with our resin. So you just wanna make sure you get it good and wet. If you have any air pockets or air bubbles underneath your glass, basically what you're gonna have is a weak spot in your dash.
This is just to hold our shape together so we can take it out of the truck. And then we'll reinforce the backside and then grind all this down. And then we're gonna body work it and body work it and body work it and body work it and then
Body work it. We got about 10 or 11 more coats to go on this thing. And then we'll be ready for the last 6 or 7 coats.
after hours and hours of body work, we're ready to wrap the interior to color match the engine.
Starting with the dash. Here, take that one. I'll start gluing the dash. Fun part, waiting.
A lot of people would say that the way that we do this isn't efficient, and it's not, but it's artwork. So it's not about being efficient and profitability. It's about making a one-off piece of art that this customer will have for the rest of his life, and nobody in the world will have this exact piece. We got the red dash. Right here we have a fabric called Lumina, which kind of looks like anodized aluminum, which matches the intake on the truck. So we're gonna do this on here with our design in it, and it'll come out basically looking like a piece of aluminum, but it's actually just PVC and a little filler. That looks good. Now we gotta flip and glue and tuck the backside. Goes right in here for our tweeters. Now on to the next piece.
fit. Let's see.
Some projects just spiral, especially when it's something you've never done, like converting this 1940 water truck into a barbecue pit. I can see what I want in my head. It just takes a lot of time and work. Jamie and I are finally making the doors for the cold side of the truck.
We got the 1.5-inch square tubing, and this is gonna stiffen everything in the door. We're gonna make the whole door frame, make sure it opens right, closes right. Hopefully, this all keeps it. Cool, we got our cold side done. Looks really good. This side's a little more difficult. This side's gonna have 2 doors. The tank's made out of 3/16 material, which is super thick, really hard to work with, especially rolled. We're gonna put the skin on it and then build the ribs to the door. So we're gonna put a little dog right here. This thing's not 100% the same contour. Let's put the hinges on. This is gonna be this side. Man, you definitely got to be careful tacking these things because it's easy to get mixed up and weld them all together.
I could see where you could get confused pretty easily.
Moment of truth here.
Yeah.
Woo!
That looks nice, man.
Let's jump on the other side. Slow. It's gonna work, man. And I know it looks like we haven't done much to this, but this is a major, major, major accomplishment of the figuring out. So we're gonna send it off to blast, get all this old coating out so it's bare metal. That's it. Then we can really start to get some work done. We're really jamming on this 1940 International. We're building 2 spots for the natural gas grills.
Man, that fits good.
On a one-of-one build, there's no instructions. It's a lot of work and a lot of figuring out as we go. Which also means things never go exactly where we were thinking.
It's too long.
It's already too big.
Yeah, I figured out we needed 24 inches of stroke, but that was before any of this was even thought about. Because I wanted to have the cylinder here by the time we're ready for it. Well, now we're ready for it. This ain't gonna work. Let's see. Man, it might work. Man, it makes more sense to put this right through the middle anyway. I mean, 1 cylinder, instead of on the side, we can put it right in the middle. We can use the long cylinder. We'll just cut this out and extend it in between the 2 walls here. And it looked like it was meant to be there. Man, let's get the plasma out.
All right.
No matter how much you prepare when it comes to fabrication, you have issues. It's part of the fab work is rolling with it, adapting, making things work that aren't supposed to work. That's what we're doing. We're gonna adapt. We're gonna put the cylinder all the way through the wall. Make a single cylinder to open this whole thing up. And on something like this, you're not just putting the puzzle together, you're creating the puzzle. That looks good.
Yeah.
That's gonna work.
Thing opened up so smooth.
Man, they're gonna freak out. It's gonna be like Transformers. Just... Yep, that's cool. We're finishing Eric's 86 C10.
You wanna hand it to me from your side?
Yeah.
Since I'm old and decrepit.
Suede's one of the more unforgiving fabrics, but it's got a great look. So the guy's got to be extra careful with this one.
I should start doing yoga. I thought that's what we did every day in here. Hot yoga. That looks nice.
You just gotta get your heath off of it over there.
Got heath all over it. Look at that. As a special touch and as a shout out to Granddad, we're adding the family crest to the interior. We got our computer program lined up. We got it loaded into our CNC. We're gonna go ahead and engrave it out of this wood we got here to make it all look really cool.
Ooh, look at that red. Man, that looks good.
To tie the whole build together, we're bringing red into the bed and silver strips to match the body.
Let's get this thing bolted down and call it a day.
Today we're at the Chavez compound giving Eric his family heirloom back. We've been building this truck on and off for the last 3 years, so I know the anticipation is really high. Proud day for everybody today. This thing's really special to your family. I mean, it goes way back. I know your dads learned how to drive in it. Your uncle learned how to drive in it. I don't think they were very good at it because the thing was wrecked up. There wasn't nothing straight on this thing, right? It's been an honor to take a piece of your family history and build upon it and make you something really special, man.
I cannot wait to see this truck built. I mean, I'm sweating Asians because we waited for so long. Ready to check it out?
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, this is good.
What you think, man?
Looks good, man. Looks real good. When I first saw that truck, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It's above and beyond what we could imagine.
Grandpa be proud, right?
Oh, yeah, he would. He would.
Very, very proud. Everything just feels right.
You know, we picked this thing up. It was in its last little stage. Everything was done to a certain point. We finished everything off. New wood bed, bumpers, new wheels, tires, and last but not least, the interior of this thing.
Check this out.
Yeah, man, that looks real good, man. Wow. So when that door opened up for the interior and I saw it for the first time, I mean, it just blew me away. I like how they tied in the red from the engine to the interior, and then it flows to the bed. I mean, it just seems like everything belongs in the truck. All that suede in there, I mean, I think it's better than a Ferrari interior.
Awesome.
So I got a question, man. I mean, what came first, the interior or the shoes?
Man, I was just so inspired by the interior, I had to go buy some shoes. You know, we did a lot of thinking on this thing. Man, we had to build a custom dash, all built from scratch, all built out of wood and fiberglass and a bunch of sweat.
It just looks amazing.
All the lines flow all the way through, to the door panels, to the kick panels, to the console. It's all just one big swoop around there. And most importantly, we have your family crest engraved in the matching wood.
Hopefully when you guys are riding around, you can think back to your dad and your grandpa, and he's still riding in the truck with you.
Seeing the family crest in the truck just means so much. This truck is a big part of our family history, and it's nice to have it back home where it belongs with all of us. Thank you so much, man. I mean, it means a lot to see this truck finally finished. You guys put so much detail and hard work into this. I don't think nobody imagined this truck looking this good. Now we can make a whole new history with it, man. Thanks to you guys.
After years of working on lowriders, John's our resident hydraulic expert. Him and Jamie are mocking up the pumping lines now.
Just a little temporary setup we got going on. Test the door, see if it opens and closes all the way. So on this hydraulic pump, this is your reservoir. This is what holds all the fluid. Inside the reservoir, there's a gear. When the motor turns, it turns the gears. The gears pump fluid through the valves. Whichever way you direct it is where the flow is gonna go. It will lift way more weight, and it's a lot more reliable.
I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, about to bump it.
Whoa. Yeah, that's super quick, John. All right, we're going from the other way now?
We got the hot side actuating, we have the cold side actuating. The most important part is the beer tub actuations. This bolt is going to be the pivot point of our hydraulic cylinder, which is going to be mounted here. And the plan is to have the whole beer tub hinge here. And the hydraulic cylinder is going to push against this, letting the whole tub go 90 degrees. We need a super strong hinge. It's going to have a ton of pressure on it. So we took some DOM, a 3/4 bolt, and going to make a hinge that's super, super strong. Putting the hinges on is super tight with each other to have a smooth pivot point. If not, it's going to bind up. When it binds up, it's going to put a lot of stress around the weld, and that's going to cause fatigue in the metal and eventually have a crack. Man, you ready to check this out?
Let's see what happens.
We got the hydraulics set up on this International. It's time to see it in action. Your weld's good?
Hey, 100.
We're about to see.
Hey, 100.
Just ain't got enough juice, man.
It's going.
Battery's dead. Hit that on there.
All right. There we go.
That shit's good.
Hell yeah.
That shit's good.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
Dude.
Look where our line is. Hell yeah.
It's always cool to see something in my head come to life, and it's even bigger and stronger than I was even imagining.
Timmy, Lulu.
Hey, check it out.
What we're doing?
Watch it.
Oh, we're watching?
Drop it. You know, any cookout, no matter where you're cooking, you gotta have shade. I had to figure out some kind of way to shade this thing. What I come up with is an actuated awning holder to go up and have two awnings back to back that shoot out and just puts a full shade over this whole pit. All right, Jamie, let's see what happens, man.
All right.
Scoot over.
Looks like a glove.
Man, it's a tight fit in there. You know, the bigger the better, though. You want as much shade as possible.
Lifting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a great idea. What? Man, I've never seen anything like this.
Man, me neither. You could open it up going on the road and fly.
Well, that's super cool.
Now we got to get this tank back together.
So basically, we're cladding these doors right now with the metal that we cut off the water tank. Just trying to get it fit perfectly. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. It's a pretty heavy door. Not an easy task, but we're going to take care of it.
Can just hold it steady there for a minute.
Just a little heavy.
All right, that's flush. Okay, jump inside, put a tack here or there, here or there. It's really critical to make this thing look totally straight with each other. I mean, you don't want one door to stick out farther than the other. You want it to look nice, straight, and professional. We'll get the other side on. We'll start doing some body work on this thing. All right.
Oh, man. What do we got here?
When I first set my eyes on the International truck, I didn't realize how much work, how much engineering it was going to take to make this a barbecue truck. But we're super close. Jacob and Jamel are going to prep it for paint.
Let's get this thing knocked out. Wasn't so bad.
Wish all the cabs weighed this much.
They're going to paint the chassis and the engine, and of course the cab.
This vehicle is going to match the rest of the fleet. We're going to go with the red on top and bottom of the body line, and then we're going to come back and hit it with the white, and then roll on to the blue.
Project just because it's a lot easier for us versus painting the whole thing blue, then coming and having to mask up the whole vehicle and go back in and do the little graphic that's going to go on here. Right now, we're gonna take some 1/4-inch fine line, run us 2 nice little red stripes, come back in, shoot some white, then we'll mask off that white, and then we'll go ahead and shoot the rest of the cab blue. See if I can turn into a Smurf in the process of doing this.
So what we have here is the stencil that Republic Waste Management asked for us to put on their truck. It's gonna match their fleets. Just shoot it white first. And then we're gonna come back with the second layer of red on top. Voila, ready to rock and roll. And come back with some clear, make this thing look nice.
I got my start in the paint industry, got bit by a mini trucking bug back in '98 when I graduated high school, got into custom trucks, and the rest is history. To achieve a smooth finish in a paint job, it's all about the prep work. I pretty much have to make sure that what we produce is A1 because at the end of the day, a painter's the last guy that touches that panel, so he's supposed to make sure that every panel has a good substrate to lay down a foundation on. What I like about being a painter is you have all different techniques, you have all different ways of spraying things, you have a lot of different variances and different colors. It makes it a challenge, and that's what I like challenges, so I think that's why I became a painter. If you like colors and you have OCD about cleanliness and you enjoy being around cars, well, paint might be something that you might want to get into. It worked for me and it keeps me out of trouble.
This is truly one of the most challenging builds we've ever done. And everybody stepped up, brought something to it. We're installing the walls and the doors, fine-tuning the hydraulics, and putting it all together.
Today's a really big day. A few months back, we gave Bill a truck, 1940 water.
And I know Bill will just run with it. Looking forward to seeing it.
You guys called me a while back. You said you had an old project for me to come take a look at. A 1940 International is a really cool truck, and wanting to turn it into a barbecue pit, that's right up my alley. My whole team stepped up, just like your whole team always steps up for the community. Hurricane, just reaching out and helping people. Of course we got to help you guys out.
It's these folks back here that we really want to, shout out to and we wanted to do the project for. So we just thank you for doing it, man. And we're just really, really super excited.
You guys ready to check it out?
Yeah! All right.
Looks new, man.
It is.
It is, yeah.
That is incredible.
Wow. Looks amazing.
I mean, that's one of the first things you notice. It's got to be Republic Blue. Fits right in around here. I believe it's a work of art.
Work of art. All right.
We brought this thing in the shop and just totally took this truck apart. We don't normally do restorations at my shop, but it's a restoration with a totally custom aspect also, and that's our specialty.
All right.
Cutting. They even put me inside this thing. I welded on this thing for weeks.
Oh! How's it run?
Looks good and runs good.
Outstanding. Whoa!
All right. Looks brand new.
Just freshened up a little bit.
I like the red. Incredible. It's got that pop of chrome. Man, it's really got a good look.
Now it's time for the good stuff.
Whoa! Yeah!
Man, if you're gonna be doing some cooking, you gotta have a place for the condiments, right?
That's right.
You gotta have a cold side.
Looks awesome.
Awesome.
This big, heavy door, the hydraulics to just open this thing up with flip of a switch.
That's crazy. That
You hit
is
it,
so
Bill.
crazy.
You got it down, man.
That is wild.
The hydraulics are awesome. It's not like you're just opening it. You're hitting a button and the thing opens up.
Takes an expert to do something like that, man. We could have never done that.
If you're gonna be cooking out in Texas, you gotta have shade. Man, check this out.
Whoa! Oh, yeah! Outstanding.
Pretty cool.
All right,
That's
man. Really cool.
That is
It's
cool.
awesome.
That is really
It looks
cool.
like it's gonna fly.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever cooked outside in Texas, you gotta have some shade above you. Another little thing you gotta have is a cooler.
Whoa! Hey!
Sweet, Bill.
Beautiful.
And you see, this is just the back part of the frame off, and we built the hinges, built everything super strong. This thing is It's heavy, and it'll hold a whole lot of beer.
Ultimate tailgate. We gave him a concept of kind of what we wanted, but it was real general. Bill took it to the next level, man. It's unbelievable.
Let's check out the main part, the cooking part.
Awesome.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Whoa!
Outstanding,
Look at that.
man.
Open right up.
You got the cold.
Looks awesome.
You got the beverage. You got the grill, man. You nailed it.
You know,
nailed
this itself was just months of just thinking, cutting, grinding, mental anguish on this thing. I mean, it was really fun.
You guys nailed it, man. I mean, we asked to restore the truck, keep its original appeal, right? So it rolled up looking like an old restored water truck.
Yeah.
And then, man, boom, into a transformer.
That's
you got
it.
the ultimate entertaining vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait to get it out there and, you know, feed our guys, have a good time.
You know, I can't say enough about my guys at the shop. Everybody stepped up, and we just created something that I've never even seen before. I can't say thanks enough to them. And Republic, I hope you have many years of just continued grilling.
You nailed it, buddy. You nailed it. This is really, really awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you so much, man. Awesome
Appreciate
job. Awesome job.